What's up, guys? It's Brad with College Sportscast, and I have the two Johns here with me tonight, and we're here to do Game Day Pick'em Week 11. All right, guys. I think I'm unmuted. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, it worked. All right, guys. It's good to have you guys on with me. We are College Sportscast, and this is our Thursday night Game Day Pick'em show. It's where we take all the exciting games of the weekend and make our statements about the game and our picks. So I've got the two Johns. I got John Hammonds with me at the top. What's up, Hammonds?
What's up, man?
He's just looking around. All right, and then I have John Roberts, Drink Local BHAM on Twitter. These are our Twitter handles. What's up, John?
What's happening? Good to be with y'all on a Thursday. I think this is the first Pick'em show that I've been on this year.
Yeah, it's about time you do something.
I know. God dang. Jeez.
It is the first Pick'em show you've been on this year.
I know.
So we've been keeping season stats, so you're not going to be included.
No, I'm not. Well, I may have been on the very first one. I can't remember if I was on the very first one before the season started, like that first Thursday. I can't remember. But since then, I haven't been on a Thursday. So, woohoo.
Right. All right. So if you want to talk a little bit about home field, John Roberts, I've got it kind of scrolling there on the bottom of the screen too.
So home field, in case you guys haven't heard, is a vintage college sports apparel company. They have about 150 or so schools that they have definitely signed on for licensed apparel, just gear. They've got shirts, hoodies, bomber jackets, hats, joggers, long sleeve, short sleeve shirts. I right now have the Auburn hoodie. This is from Home Field Apparel. So it is very comfortable, very warm when it is nice and cool outside. It just happens to be cool in my house, whereas it is very warm outside currently. But anyway, got that. I actually have another Home Field shirt on underneath. You can't see it, but that's podcasting is definitely a visual medium. But anybody that's on YouTube can see the hoodie. The hoodie is awesome. It's like kind of a dark gray with that orange AU on it right now. But you need to go on, and they do their research, especially with the vintage logos and everything like that. But they actually go and find the stories to some of these things. In fact, there are several stories that go on. Auburn basketball has a peacock for a shirt. They have a design that has a peacock on it. Well, Home Field has the story as to why Auburn, embraced yet another mascot, for basketball, and that is the peacock. And that happened a couple years ago, but Home Field has the story. They've got it up on their website. Check it out, homefieldapparel.com. But yes, we are brand ambassadors. And
use our code CSCast.
use the code CSCast on your first visit and get 15% off. Which
that actually helps us.
yes, it does, and it helps us, support the show. So that is definitely something that you should do. So, yep.
And I will say that,
they got some really cool designs. So check it.
And I will say this, Brad's probably going to laugh at this, but how did Indiana beat Wisconsin last week in my upset pick?
Oh, easy. Home Field Apparel, because Connor from Home Field Apparel is an Indiana grad. So there you go. Right there. I found it out. That's the secret. It was Home Field Apparel.
Yeah.
The original
secret to it.
The original Home Field school right there, Indiana.
Yeah.
And
his
roommate was an Auburn fan. So
all right, guys. We're gonna dig into our game day pick'ems. I just wanted to get that in about our new affiliate with Home Field. We're excited about that. So, but we're gonna start here and we're gonna dig into our pick'ems. So last week we both had a pretty good week, John. I went 10-2 in my picks. John, you went 8-4. And
what were your losses?
Stats there you can see I am 70-48. What's that?
Yeah, keep
what
bragging.
Were your losses? Who did you not pick?
Yeah, keep bragging, Brad. You're 500.
I missed the Texas. I missed the Texas one by 1 point. It was a 4-point spread, and they won by 3.
Okay.
And then I missed Notre Dame.
Yeah, I think we all missed Notre Dame there.
Yeah, we all
did, I think.
So yep.
I'm 70-48. Yeah, I'm 70-48 on the season. John is 57-61. He's coming back the last 2 weeks. He's getting close to 500.
I'm working on
it. We'll see.
But
you actually got both the lock. John, you actually got both the lock and the upset right. So I will give you had a pretty good week going 8-4 and got the lock pick and the upset pick right. So, but I'm going to leave that up on the screen. We're going to start with some college football games, which is what we've been doing all along. But this week we're going to add some college basketball at the end. So we're going to start with Michigan, and they are going to Penn State to play in Happy Valley this weekend, and Michigan is a 4.5-point favorite in this game. And John Roberts, you're the new one here, so I'll let you take the floor first.
So am I the celebrity guest picker for this show today? Is that what's up? I'm the celebrity guest picker. That's right. Yeah. So in this game right here, I know Michigan's under a lot of hot water. They've obviously been in the middle of that sign stealing scandal and whatnot. They've even turned in some papers to the Big Ten saying, caution, if you guys keep going, then we're going to unload all this other stuff about everybody else in the Big Ten. So that's going to be fun. I can't wait to see that. Anyway, Penn State has a lot going for it. They're one of the best teams to cause turnovers. They've got one of the best defenses that are out there. Michigan's got a really great defense. But for whatever reason, all signs say that Penn State should win this game. I'm going Michigan. I don't know why, but I'm going Michigan.
Okay. All right,
I don't pick on the points on this one, so I'm just picking straight up winner, Michigan.
I got Michigan. I just think, I'm not a believer in James Big Game Franklin. It seems like every time he has a big game, it seems like he falls on his face. Penn State's defense is really good, but I think Michigan's just a little bit better, especially offensively and defensively. I'm going to be honest with you. Michigan doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and they're really good on the ground, especially with Corum and Edwards. So I think they get the job done this weekend, and I think they cover the 4.5. They cover the spread. Now it's at Penn State. It's going to be a fun environment. Happy Valley is always a tough place to play. But at the same time, until James Franklin wins a big game, I just don't see how you can pick them right now. And plus, they got the edge at quarterback with McCarthy.
I agree with you. Josh Hart's with us, and he put on here that he busted DraftKings and FanDuel. So he won like over $900 last weekend off the two.
Boy.
So just wanted to put that up there. Jerry Carter's with us. He says he's going to take Michigan by 10, at least 10. I want to take Penn State at home. I really do. But like you said, until they actually get through one of these games as a winner, it's really hard to do. I mean, it's a tough place to go in and play. Michigan is one of only 4 schools that have scored 30 or more points in every game this year. At 4.5, give me Michigan, and I'll take the 4.5, lay the 4.5 points in this one. So we're all on board for Michigan in this one. This next game is going to be interesting for me and Hammonds anyway. Alabama is going to Kroger Field to play Kentucky this weekend after their, big win last week versus LSU. They're 11-point favorite. I guess, Hammonds, I'll let you take this one first. Tell me what you really think.
I think the only way Kentucky beats Alabama is if Alabama's bus breaks down on the way to the stadium, to be honest with you. But seriously though, I just don't see Kentucky hanging in this game. Now, I think they can hang probably for a couple of quarters. But right now, Jalen Milroe, the quarterback for Alabama, he's playing at a level that we've not seen so far all year long. Since they lost to Texas, they've been playing with their hair on fire. Especially the defense. I think they're ranked 4th in the country in yardage. I look for Alabama to just pin their ears back and dare Devin Leary to throw the football because you're not going to be able to run a lot on this Alabama defense. This Alabama defense has got really good guys up front. Their biggest question marks, I think, is in the secondary. If Kentucky can make some plays in the secondary and, hit some big plays, maybe get some momentum, I think they got a shot. But I just think Alabama's playing too good right now. Even and Leary's hurt, which he's been beat up, the last couple of weeks. He had the eye injury last week, and then his ribs, he got hit in the ribs last week. So this is a tough game. I think you get out of here and you play competitive and you get out of here and you take a shot at going to South Carolina next week and end the season with Louisville and hopefully getting 2 more wins and entering the bowl season with some momentum. But I just don't see them beating Alabama this weekend. I think Alabama covers the 11 points.
All right, John Roberts, you're in Alabama. He's a Birmingham kid here. So what do you think?
Well, Brad,
he's an Auburn fan.
I'm just going to tell you that your team, while starting off very, very, very nice, is about to lose its 4th game in a row. What is it? 3rd?
No, they won last week.
Oh, they won last week. Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah, they beat
Mississippi State. That's right.
They won last
That's
week.
right.
Yeah.
But they lost 2 right before that, right?
Yeah, they lost to Missouri and Tennessee.
Okay, so then this will be
3
another
actually.
Yeah, they'll be 6-4 if they lose Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah. So this will definitely not be an easy game to watch for you guys.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there. If somehow you can get Ray Davis running and going, then there is a possibility to open it up for Devin Leary. But Terry and Arnold and a lot of the other defensive secondary guys that you're talking about are actually pretty good. So I wouldn't be. I would be looking at trying to run it straight at them and see what you could get out of it. If you can open the run, open the passing game up by being able to run the ball, then maybe. But you become one dimensional, and then you're
You
in
know what
trouble.
I was thinking about that, John, about the whole Alabama Kentucky game. If I'm Kentucky and let's just say with the coin toss and you're doing the coin toss and Kentucky wins the toss, I think you take the ball first because you don't want to let Alabama go down and score and get a 7-0 lead on you real quick.
That or kick an onside kick immediately.
Yeah, to kind of get momentum swifting another way.
Right.
I think if you want to,
Scoops is never going to kick an onside kick immediately.
Well, so you go for the ball right away. You kick the onside kick to start the second half. That's what you do.
And another thing too, if you really want to put pressure on Alabama, is you take the ball down the field and you score on your opening drive, and you make them try to score.
That's
and
right.
You try to make them move down the field. Like
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky's going to have to put pressure on them. They're going to have to make mistakes. Kentucky's going to have a turnover or two, I think, to win this game.
And you got to learn. You got to learn. You got to learn from LSU's mistake, and you cannot allow Jalen Milroe to use his legs to absolutely carve you.
And Kentucky's already had a notorious problem with running quarterbacks.
Yeah, this one's just not going to be pretty.
So I agree with you. I'm just saying generally.
In case you didn't see it, it's going to be Alabama, and I've got more than the 11. So that's what I got.
Okay. Yeah. Listen, I hear everything y'all are saying. They just beat LSU 42-28. They look the best that they have looked all season.
Please don't tell me you're about to have a butt on this thing.
There's no way, Brad. They're not. They're not
winning.
I love Kentucky. I love Kentucky, but they're not winning.
I'm not taking Kentucky to win the game. But
you're taking them to cover? Oh my God, no! Terrible, Brad. This is not a game to even cover. You're not going to cover either. Sorry.
Listen, Brad, I love you. I love you.
Give me the 11.
But they got 4- and 5-star players that outmatch ours. Like they're just.
They got 4- and 5-star players on their bench.
They just.
I know that.
We don't match up with them. It's just simple.
It's not going to happen, man.
Give me the 11 points, guys.
No.
Well, that's fine. You take them.
You take them and take that. You want the L as well? Can I go ahead and give you the L right now, right here? Let me give you this L right here. Because you should just go ahead and take it now.
If I miss it, I'll live. I promise. All right. The next game we're going to go to is Miami is at FSU. FSU is a 14-point favorite at home. So I think this is a pretty easy game, really, to pick. But John Roberts, what do you think on this one?
Give me all the Jen Knowles on this one. This is going to be FSU all the way. Miami doesn't have a prayer in this game. They're dead. They're buried. See ya. NOLES Knowles.
This is a game that has always notoriously been a wild game. Like it's always got something that happens in it. But with the way Miami has played offensively lately, their inept offense, especially against NC State last week, and then the crazy games that they lost in the last minute, especially the one against Georgia Tech. There's just so many issues going on. They started out the year great, and then I think the Georgia Tech game just kind of knocked the wind out of themselves.
My favorite Miami game was the A&M game where they beat A&M by 14? Because that was awesome.
Everybody thought
that was awesome.
Miami was the great comeback, and then they just kind of fell on their face. So plus this game's at FSU, and that's a tough environment to play in. So give me FSU for the 14 points. I think they covered. Miami's just got a lot of issues right now.
Oh yeah.
So y'all both taking FSU in the 14?
That's right.
I mean, I can't go wrong on that either. I mean, I've got to take FSU in the 14 points on that one as well. I feel like that one's a fairly easy one to pick. I mean, Miami's just not been good. They just got beat 14 at NC State last week,
Well,
and I know FSU's better
their
than they
quarterback
are.
play,
So
their quarterback play has been very subpar. Let's just be honest about it. Like, it's not been good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I mean, I think it's a pretty easy game to pick. So we're going to run through that one because we got basketball to get to as well. So we've got this game is Utah at Washington. Washington, 9.5-point favorite. Do the Utes have any chance of covering this 9.5 spread?
You want me to go first? Because
Yeah,
I'll be happy to go first here. Yeah, the Utes cover the Utes cover. Not only do they cover, but they win the game. So Utah wins.
Okay.
Calling it right now.
listen,
You got Utah in the upset.
That's right. Utah in the upset.
All right.
I love Kyle Whittingham. I love how he always gets his teams up for games like this, especially against ranked opponents, especially in conference. But they're going to have a hard time keeping up with this offense. Penix Jr. to me is the front runner for the Heisman Trophy. They lead the nation in passing yards. Washington does have a game next week against Oregon State, which they might be looking ahead to it, but I doubt it. But I think they cover this game, which I love Utah's defense, but I just like Washington's offense so much better. They just have so many weapons. Like, they put up gazillions of yardage against USC, which, to be fair, USC's defense ain't as good as Utah's.
You could put up the same amount of yards against air, okay? Come on.
They did do the same to Oregon that has a really good defense like Utah.
They're not like Utah because they're not like Utah.
They're not, but they have that same kind of defense though. And Penix Jr. ate them up. So,
and Washington and Penix Jr. have been very
listen, guys,
judicious with that ball. That ball is going to go. He's going to have multiple turnovers in this game. His Heisman chances are going to come back down to earth. I think he ultimately still wins the game, wins the Heisman, but I think that this game is going to bring him back to the rest of the pack when it comes to the Heisman.
You're just bringing all kinds of negative energy here tonight.
That's what I'm here for. Hey, remember,
my deal on this game is
love chaos. Remember, chaos. This is the beginning.
I have been on Utah for a year and a half. I've been on Utah for a year and a half. I love Utah. I've picked them just about in every game. I really think that if they did not have the injuries that they had, that they would be especially challenging in this game, possibly winning this game. I think Washington is the class of the Pac-12. I really do.
Oh, they are the class of the Pac-12.
Give me Washington and 9.5 points, and it's at home. Give me the Huskies.
Okay.
And 9.5. If it was at Utah, I would be with you, but
I'd be even more on it if it was at Utah. But I'm just on it. That's all.
Yeah. All right. The next game is a pretty big game in the SEC. I think this week we got Tennessee at Missouri, and Tennessee is a 1.5-point favorite in Columbia. Mm-hmm. So, what do you guys think? We're SEC guys. Roberts? What do you think on this game?
Tennessee by 7. That's it. That's the answer.
Okay. That's the pick. Okay.
That's the pick. They're going to run the ball.
Listen,
they're going to take the SEC's best rushing offense, and they're going to go into Columbia, Missouri, and they're going to run it down the Mizzou Tigers' throats. Yep. There you go. That's it.
Okay. I mean, that's reasonable. Ray Davis run it down their throat for a quarter, and then they just quit running.
Yeah. Well, that is
True story.
that is a coaching fallacy right there.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, no,
Heupel
true
will
story.
continue to run it, and then
Okay.
he'll run it again. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go with Tennessee.
All right. Okay. Hammonds, what do you say on this
I
game?
got Missouri in this game. The last couple of weeks beyond the UConn game, because Tennessee made a mockery of them last week. So beyond those two games where they had Alabama and Missouri, or not Alabama, Missouri and Kentucky, or no, Kentucky and Alabama is who they played the last two. They just didn't impress me offensively. Like, they had the game. To me, they should have beat Alabama, and they went away from everything that they did in the second half, and Alabama just played ball. They just come out on defense and did their thing. We don't even know if Luther Burden's going to be playing Saturday. I think that's a big question mark.
Doubtful.
If he plays, I think there's a great chance for Missouri to win this game. But if he don't play, I think you could see Tennessee win this game. I think Luther Burden is an X factor in this game. He's one of the best wide receivers in the country. Let's just be real. I think he's leading the country in yardage, if I'm not mistaken. So, but I'm still going to take Missouri at home, but not by much. I think they cover the 1.5.
Brad, what say you?
Well, they get the 1.5.
Well, they get to 1.5.
All right.
That's right.
So, well, I mean, this is a tough one. This is a tough game, if you ask me. I mean, I think it could easily go either way. I mean, if Burden is not playing, that's a big minus for Missouri. I think this Tennessee team does have a really, really sound and really good running game. And they also have what I think is one of the better front sevens in the SEC on defense.
Kentucky shredded them up, though, a couple of weeks ago.
So I don't
they didn't play
think
good.
I don't think that I don't think the Missouri running back will have a big day. I really don't. The Schrader kid or whatever his name is.
Cody Schrader.
I don't think he'll have a big day. Yeah. I don't think he'll have a big day against
but you got to look
defense.
But you got to look at you got to be looking at the
Alabama.
You got to look at the Alabama and Kentucky games. They didn't play good on defense. They really didn't. I mean, I know their front seven's good, but they didn't really impress me much. I mean, they made plays, but they gave up a lot of yards.
As much as I hate to see it, I'm going to take Tennessee in this game and lay the 1.5. I think
good choice.
I think with Burden possibly out, more than likely out, I think I'm going to go with Tennessee.
Tennessee's the choice.
SEC for the next game. We got Ole Miss traveling to Georgia. Georgia's coming off of a 9-point win against Missouri at home, and Missouri did look pretty good there. But Georgia is an 11-point favorite against Ole Miss this week. And John Roberts, what do you think on this game? We got Lane Kiffin going to Athens.
Yeah, is he kicking people off the team now?
Does Kiffin win one of those big?
Is he kicking people off the team?
What's that?
Is he kicking people off the team? Is he getting sued? What's going on? Is he out there saying that you can't take mental health days? No. This will have actually no effect on the game. Sorry.
There's no problem with Kiffin.
Huh? You said what?
I said there's no telling with Kiffin.
Yeah, there's no telling. That's true. That's true. That's true. He's talking out the side of his mouth here. But anyway, what Well, Georgia's going to win the game. I'm just deciding right now whether they cover the spread. All right, right now, Georgia's going to win.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go right now. I'm dealing right now with the straight up. Georgia wins straight up.
Yeah, I'm going to take Georgia to.
But we're doing DraftKings here. We're trying to do a DraftKings.
So I gotta pick based on the spread. Okay, Georgia.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. Yeah.
It's gonna be Georgia.
Well, that was difficult, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was very difficult. Yeah, Georgia.
Yeah, you thought about that one a long time, man.
Yeah, I did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, Hammond.
I got Georgia by the 10.5.
That's 11. That's 11. If you read it right here, it says 1-1, not 10.5.
Ole Miss just don't have the defense.
I had 11 earlier.
Ole Miss just don't have the defense to stack up against Georgia. Georgia's on a different level. The biggest thing with Georgia to me is they're a team that doesn't let its opponents dictate how long it stays on the field. And Georgia just knows how to make plays. When the game's on the line and Georgia needs to make a play, Georgia makes a play. And you've seen that last week against Missouri. You've seen it against Auburn. You've seen it against Florida, how they turn it into another gear. This Georgia team, let's just be honest now. If they get in there, I think they're going to win another. They're going to win 3 back to back to back. There's nobody to me that's on their level right now.
No, Georgia's going to win this game. They're going to win by the 11 necessary to cover here. But I have doubts on them being a three-peat.
Somebody's going. There's one team that probably could match with them, I think, and that's Michigan.
There's a couple teams that I think
Michigan has the pieces.
Guys, Georgia.
There's a couple teams that can match with them.
Had some trouble covering spreads this year. They really have.
Yes, but what do they do when it comes?
Georgia
crunch
didn't
time?
cover it last week against Missouri.
What do they do when it comes crunch time? They make plays. They do things that most teams can't do.
Yeah, you're right. They're probably going to win by 9.
I'm talking about we're picking with spreads, and I'm telling you guys, they have had a hard time covering spreads. My thing with this game is this: not too many teams can score a bunch of points on Georgia. Ole Miss is capable. But the only time that I've seen them play against a team like a Georgia this year was the Alabama game.
And they lost.
Alabama. And they only scored 10 points.
10 and a loss.
See, here's the thing. Ole Miss ain't got the defense.
That is what is scaring me about this.
Ole Miss ain't got the defense. Ole Miss just ain't got the defense to hang on.
I don't. Can Ole Miss go into Athens and put up 30 points?
No.
Mm-mm.
I don't.
No,
I just don't think.
No, against that defense.
Devil went down to Georgia looking for a soul to steal.
I don't think they can.
Swipe or no swiping.
You're not right. All right. Looking for a soul to steal. All right. I got you. So I'm going to take Georgia in the 11 points in this, but everything in me says that Mississippi's going to cover this. I don't know. But I'm taking Georgia. All right. The next game we're going to talk about, guys, in football for Saturday is Florida at LSU. LSU is a 14-point favorite, and they're coming off of a 14-point loss to Bama. And I have not heard if Jaden Daniels has passed concussion protocol or not?
He's been passing
do not
everything.
know
I
if
don't know
Jaden
if he
Daniels is
was
playing.
if he cleared through the non-contact practice stuff today. So
That's why I say I have not heard if he's cleared and he's going to be able to play yet or not. So
I'm gonna
he
go with he. I'm gonna go with he is
practiced
going to be
today
cleared.
also.
Well, it was non-contact, but yeah, he was cleared for non-contact. So if he passes everything that was at today, which we hadn't heard anything that said otherwise, so we're just going to assume that he passed the through the non-contact for contact. So I'm going with he is going to play. So now in terms of
Okay.
the game here, so we have Florida, who just got beat by Arkansas, right, in a very much embarrassing loss on the road at Arkansas in overtime.
in the swamp.
No, it was in the swamp. I thought that was on the road.
No, it was in the swamp.
No, it was at
Okay.
the swamp.
Okay. Yeah,
First
that's
time
right. That's right.
Arkansas
That's right. That's
ever
right.
won a
That's right.
game
That's
in
right.
the
It
swamp.
was. It was. Um.
Yep.
Let's see. How do we want to do this one? Because Bama usually beats teams twice. This would be the second. This would be the second opponent. So,
Yeah.
things would get
You're right
really,
on that,
really
yeah.
dicey if Florida beat LSU. That would be hilarious. I just can't. I don't know if I can pick. I don't think I can pick that Florida team against this LSU team, even though
I'm taking LSU
I want to
this
so
game,
bad.
guys.
I want to so bad. I want to pick Florida so bad right now. I'm going to pick Florida with the points. Yeah. I'm going to say it's inside 14.
You're going to take the points?
Yeah, I'm going to say it's inside 14.
Okay. Well, I'm taking LSU and laying the 14 points in this one.
Yeah.
I just don't think Florida's any count.
This one's just it's going to rack my brain because that one is I don't know. That one and the Auburn, Arkansas are going to rack my brain.
Hammonds, what do you think?
Oh, that's what I got. Plus 14. Florida's reeling right now, and
You taking LSU?
On the other side of it too, Florida is probably playing for its bowl hopes and such, but it's just going to be too much to overcome in Death Valley Saturday.
Just remember that Texas A&M, as bad as they were last year, beat this LSU team last year at the end of the season.
I know that.
Just remember that.
All right. So our next game we're going to talking about beating somebody last season. Last year, West Virginia beat Oklahoma. This time, West Virginia is going to Oklahoma. Oklahoma's coming off of back-to-back losses and is a 12.5-point favorite at home against West Virginia. Now, say this West Virginia team is a bad, horrendous play away from being 7-2 a few weeks back at the end of a game. They're 6-3, should be 7-2, and has had a good season so far, minus that one darn play at the end of a game.
For me,
so what do you say?
For me, I'm going to take the Mountaineer in the points. I get it. Oklahoma's playing at home. Oklahoma should get this win, but being favored by 2 touchdowns for me is too much, especially after the last couple of weeks that they've had. They haven't looked like Oklahoma, but I think West Virginia, you got to just take the points and with them, and Oklahoma ends up winning this game. But I just think 2 touchdown favorite is too much, even in Oklahoma, because they just haven't looked right the last 2 weeks.
I'm gonna go with Oklahoma, and I'm gonna say that they win by double that. Yeah, and it's going to be because of the last 2 weeks. So while you're
Okay.
saying because of the last 2 weeks that they don't do it,
Well-
I'm going to say that they do because of it. Yep.
Well, so here's what I'm going to say. Oklahoma started this season out looking like they had really turned the corner on defense. The last 3 or 4 weeks now, they have struggled on defense, giving up nearly 30, 32 points a game. Lost last week, giving up 27. And they're not quite as bad defensively as they were last year. Last year, they were horrible, but they are starting to look more and more defensively like they did last year. And that is my concern with this Oklahoma team. And this West Virginia team has surprised a lot of times this year. And for that reason alone, I'm going to take West Virginia and take the 12.5 points. I really don't think they're going to go in and beat Oklahoma, but they'd have to cover 13. So
yeah,
that's what I'm going to do. All right. Our last football game that we're going to talk about is USC goes to Oregon. Oregon is a 15-point favorite on Saturday. And, I put this one in there. USC is reeling. They had given up 46 points in their last 4 games on average. Oregon Bo Nix is playing fantastic. I mean, absolutely fantastic. Yeah. You were talking about the Heisman deal the other day, earlier. And I mean, hell, I'm dead serious. And I know Roberts is going to have something to say about this, but he really has a shot, I think.
This is the year that Bo Nix puts it all together.
Something to say about it. Nix is really playing well. He really is.
Yeah, he is.
He's picking apart. I mean, he's picking apart teams. He picked apart the Utah team the other day on defense. And I mean, Utah's got a good defense. USC don't have a chance.
But
if you ask me. Yeah.
USC has an offense that can keep them in the game, though. That's the difference with Caleb Williams.
Yeah, but if he can pick apart Utah's defense, I just don't see. I mean, I just don't see it. I really don't.
Yeah, you're talking about the wrong side of the ball right now. You're talking about Caleb Williams picking apart Utah's or anybody's defense, and Bo Nix picking apart Utah's defense. I think in this game it's going to be offense.
Yeah,
and there's not going to be a whole lot of defense in it. I'm going 48-45, so it's going to be inside the 15.
Yeah,
Oregon's going to win, but it ain't going to be a 2-touchdown victory. It's going to be about a 3, maybe 4 point victory right there. And it's going to be a shootout. So Caleb Williams will put up major stats. Bo Nix will also put up major stats. Defense is optional in this game. Just barely more defense on the Oregon side. I give it to the Autzen crowd that allows Oregon to beat USC.
Yeah.
By the way, with the end of this weekend, everybody in the Pac-12 will have at least one loss.
I was saying at the same time, USC is going to cover the spread. USC's just got a really good offense. Last week everybody thought Washington was going to run away with it, and USC come back and got within 2 or 3 points, and it was just back and forth. So it's going to be a shootout. For me, it's going to be whoever has the ball last that wins this game, which I think it'll be Oregon. I think Oregon and Washington is on a collision course to meet each other in the Pac-12 championship. So
Both with one loss.
with one loss, and probably the
That's
winner
right.
gets it. And for me, the
Yeah,
winner
but-
of that one.
See, I don't agree with you guys. I think this Oregon team has more defense than you guys are giving them credit for.
No,
They
they
do.
do. They've got
But
more
what-
defense
but what
than
did
USC.
Washington-
But what we're saying right now is
What
that
did
the
Washington
USC
do?
offense is really good.
Washington put like
But I
what,
think the
35?
Oregon defense is really good as well. Compared to the rest of the big.
Yeah, but
Well,
look-
comparatively,
look at it,
yes, but
Brad.
we're not comparing this.
Washington scored what, 35, 28 to 35 on them.
I think it was
but
38-35
USC's
was the score, was it not? Something like that.
USC's offense is just as good as Washington's is. You seen that last week. That's the question. That's the, if they can score like that on,
I just don't. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you guys are right. The 15 points is a very high spread.
I mean,
I don't see it.
Oregon could win by 2
3-point
touchdowns. Could win by 2 touchdowns because they had a pick six or something like that at the end of the game, and it's still inside the
and
number.
still not get it.
So they're not going to cover.
Right.
I think I just don't think they're
still
going to
not
cover.
good.
I think Oregon wins. I just don't think they cover. I think USC covers.
I do too.
Mm-hmm. See, that's all it is. Oregon's going to win. They're just not winning by 15.
The 15 too high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I kind of agree with that.
Yeah,
So
you go.
I'll take the points in USC because, I mean, they
Welcome
do have
to
the
the dark
offense
side.
to do it, but God, their defense sucks. Their defense
terrible,
sucks. Like,
Yeah, their defense is horrible.
I mean, sucks.
But yeah.
The offense makes up for it though.
Yep.
I mean,
Offense is elite. Defense
If
trash.
all right,
USC,
guys, we're going to switch up
if
and
USC had a semblance
and try to run through
of a defense, they with the offense that they got, they could win the whole thing, the national championship. If they had at least an average defense.
Yep.
All right, guys, we're going to switch up and we're going to talk about some college basketball games that are being played tomorrow night. All right. They're Friday night games this week. I picked 6 games to talk about real quick. This is our first college basketball pick'ems this year. And so we're going to get started. I am going to keep the season stats separate for football and basketball. So next week you will see a college football season stat and a college basketball season stat. So with that said, Arizona travels to Cameron Indoor Stadium tomorrow night and to play the Dukies, and Duke is a 5-point favorite.
Do you want to know what the best storyline about
Arizona's
this game
got
is?
a really good team, guys.
Caleb Love returns to Duke, former North Carolina transfer.
Yeah. Yeah, North Carolina. Yeah.
Yep.
They got a really good team, guys.
They do.
This Duke team,
they got
of course, is a
backcourt.
top 5 team. Yeah. So what say you, Hammonds? You start out on the basketball stuff. I know John Roberts probably hadn't even paid attention to basketball yet.
I'm just going to be like, this team wins.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Duke,
I know,
to
'cause
me,
I think the spreads are negligible. So whatever team I'm calling to win, I'm the spreads are going to
These
be
basketball spreads are pretty close. This -5 is the biggest one.
right.
So
for me, Duke, they probably
Yeah.
have the nation's most complete team. They got probably 3 potential first-round picks in Proctor, Filipowski, and Jared McCain. They got Jeremy Roach back. I'm going to take Duke. I just think going on the road to Cameron Indoors is going to be tough for Arizona. I think Duke covers the spread. What do you say? y'all need to stay online and enjoy Virginia's win over Louisville here in a little while. But anyways, I think Duke covers the spread. I just think Duke has the more complete team. But like I said, the major storyline in this game is Caleb Love comes back to Tobacco Road. If everybody remembers the epic performance that he had in the 2022 Final Four against Duke, where he had, what was it, like 30-something points, something like that? But I feel like him and Boswell, that backcourt of him and Boswell, how do they handle that pressure of the fans and the atmosphere at Duke? And I think that's why Duke wins this game. I think they cover the spread. Duke's a really good basketball team this year. Wouldn't be shocked if Duke got back to the Final Four. So, but give me Duke in this game.
I'm just going to interject right here. So the Virginia Louisville game, I don't know if he is way ahead of me or if he was speaking it into fruition, but right after
you can take Wireman.
there was a pick six in that, and Virginia has now tied Louisville 14-14.
Let's get on with basketball, boys.
All right.
I'm just saying,
Duke,
Wireman's always
Duke.
Yeah.
Duke. All right, there we go.
Duke.
Next one.
Yeah. Listen, I like Arizona. I like the job that they've done. The coach has done out there.
Yep.
Taking over
buying players before they were able to. Yep, that's great. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I like the job that the coach has done. He did pick up quite a few transfers this year out of Arizona. Caleb Love being one of those. It's tough to go into Cameron Indoor. I mean, it's just a tough place with such a good team. They are. For me, I've got to pick Duke in this game and take the 5 points at home. If this was a neutral site game or something like that early on, I might consider taking Arizona and take the 5 points. But I'm going to take Duke to cover in this one. And the next game, a lot of these games are going to have SEC flavor in them.
Mm-hmm.
We got Texas A&M going and playing at Ohio State. Texas A&M is ranked. Ohio State is not. And Ohio State is a 1.5-point favorite at home. So
they are.
Ammons, what do you think on this one?
I like A&M in this game. They bring back Wade Taylor. He was a really great player for Buzz Williams last year. Their defense ranked 50th nationally in forcing turnovers. To me, this is going to be a big test for Ohio State's backcourt in Thornton and Roddy Gale Jr. Thornton was good a year ago. He's probably one of the nation's better guards. I think he had 17 points the other night against Oakland. So this will be a test of Texas A&M or Ohio State's backcourt against a really good defense in Texas A&M. I think Ohio State's going to be a lot better this year, but I just think that they're not going to be the winning team tomorrow night. I think Texas A&M takes care of business. Wade Taylor, to me, could possibly be the SEC Player of the Year. That's what they're saying in many media projections. So, and Buzz Williams, to me, is one of the most underrated coaches in the SEC. He just gets his players to play basketball.
Man, that dude can coach.
He just knows what to do.
Play defense.
And he's well dressed too.
It's a big testament to it, because I'm going to tell you something. Remember last year, Texas A&M was what? 6-5. They started the year out. Then they won 19 of the last 22 games. They went on an unbelievable spurt and almost won the SEC championship.
Yeah.
Got beat by Tennessee.
Yeah. I mean, I love their trapping defense. I'm going to take Texas A&M.
Alabama. They lost to Alabama. It wasn't Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm going to take Texas A&M in this game. I just feel like they're the 15th ranked team. Give me Texas A&M.
Yep.
I'm going to take Texas A&M, but not because they're the 15th ranked team, but because I'm just going to take Texas A&M. It's me. I'm picking
All right.
Texas A&M.
Well, so we talked about Tennessee's football team. So now let's talk about Tennessee's basketball team. They're playing tomorrow night and playing at Wisconsin. I'm not sure how the SEC matched up away games to these Big Ten teams because we just had Texas A&M. Now Tennessee is at Wisconsin on the same night on away games. But Tennessee here is a 1.5 point favorite at Wisconsin.
They are. Cole,
What do you
the
think
Cole
on this one,
Center,
Hammonds?
The Cole Center is a difficult place to play. I watched Tennessee some against Michigan State in the charity exhibition. They scored 89 points without two of their starting guards. And that says a lot with the way the offense was last year. They got the Northern Colorado transfer, Dalton Nick. He looks like the real deal to me. They got another transfer in Jordan Gainey. They got Zakai Ziegler. To me, he's the X factor in this. He's coming off an ACL injury from a year ago. Wisconsin, to me, is going to be improved. They're a sleeper team for me. Tennessee, to me, has just the better players to me right now. Plus, they got the Maui coming up. They got a road game at North Carolina. I think they play Illinois next month. So we're gonna learn a lot about these teams and where they're at coming up. But like I said, the Cole Center is a difficult place to play and a difficult environment to play in. But I think Tennessee gets it done. Now, if I was going to pick an upset for this game, I think I would go Wisconsin if I was going to pick that way because Wisconsin tends to have really good games at the Cole Center. And Tennessee hasn't run into a really good underrated crowd like they're going to run into tomorrow night. But I think I'm going to take Tennessee, and I think they cover the 1.5.
So you're going Tennessee.
Yeah.
All right.
Me too. Tennessee.
But at the same time, I think this is a game that if you was going to pick one to lose, I think you would pick Wisconsin because, that's a difficult place to play, especially during Big Ten play that Wisconsin has played in the past.
Yes, I agree.
Well,
Tennessee's going to win.
This Tennessee team should be a really, really good top 5, top 10 team this year, all season long. To be quite honest with you, for the most part,
I picked Rick
I think
Barnes in the regular season.
Yeah. I think these two teams. I think they have something to show. The SEC is supposed to be one of the better leagues this year, and these two teams, Texas A&M and Tennessee, have something to prove tomorrow night for the SEC. If you ask me, I'm going to take Tennessee to cover in this one, and then the next game we're going to talk about is San Diego State plays at BYU. And BYU is a 3-point favorite at home over San Diego State. Hammonds, when I saw the spread, I was a little bit surprised in this. An ex-Kentucky basketball player is the coach out there at BYU, Mark Pope. I'm sure you know that. But do the Cougars win or have a chance to cover the 3-point spread at home over San Diego State? Again, San Diego State's ranked. BYU's not.
This was a very interesting line, to be honest. This game's in Provo.
That's why I put it on there.
Both teams won their regular season games on Monday. I think this is going to be a dogfight. San Diego State, they've always had a top 20 team every single year, it seems like. They grind games out.
They were in the national championship game last year.
Yeah, they was in the national championship.
They grinded all the way to the national championship game.
Here's a stat that I'm going to give you. Let's see if I can find it. The Aztecs are 4 4-30 all time in Provo. Not good.
I'm going to give you a reason why.
And
Maybe that's why BYU.
I'm going to give you the why right now.
Yeah.
The Aztecs play at sea level in San Diego.
Well, that might have a
And
lot to do with it.
Provo is
Yeah.
way up here. It's
Yeah.
an altitude game.
Way up there. Yeah.
It is.
There you go. That's the
Yeah.
reason why it's
Okay.
BYU -3.
I think this is going to be a street fight. Let's just be honest. That's what San Diego State likes to play. You know, we've seen it all through the tournament last year. They just like to grind games out. I think I'm going to go with the upset pick this time, just based on the fact that San Diego State's had a tough time winning down there. You know, it's a new team. It's not the same team as last year. They got a couple guys, 3 guys back from the team a year ago, but it's a different year. So give me BYU and the 3 points. I think BYU pulls the upset tomorrow night.
It's not an upset if they're the favorite.
Well, no, what I mean, though, based on rankings is what I was going by. But
yeah. Give me BYU in the altitude game.
I just think, you know, that 4-30 record there, that's kind of glaring a little bit.
Okay.
Yep, altitude. That's the reason why they win.
I'm going to go against the grain here, and I'm going to go against the grain here, even though they don't look like they win very much there. I'm going to say San Diego State covers the 3. Give me the 3 points in San Diego State. We can't always be the same. It doesn't. Sometimes we got to be a little different. So I like doing that. The next one we're going to talk about is Memphis goes to Missouri, plays in Columbia tomorrow night, and Missouri is a 2-point favorite at home.
Yep.
Penny's taking his team in there to
I
Dennis Gates' team.
I think the Tigers win.
What do you
the
think on
Tigers
these
are going to
teams?
win. Tigers.
Okay.
The way
There you go.
I don't know. This is a difficult game too, in a way.
Great insight.
The good news for Memphis though is they have an old team. You know, I guess what the 9 guys that played were in their 5th or 6th years of college. So I think having an experienced team does help, especially in games like this. You know, they're going up probably against a Missouri team with, you know, the same thing. Missouri to me is going to be a work in progress, especially where they lost Kobe Brown last year. They did bring back guys like Sean East, Nick Honor, Noah Carter. But I think losing Kobe Brown is going to be a difference for them this year, and they're going to have to adjust to it. But I'll say this. Dennis Gates is one of the most underrated coaches in this league. With what he did last year, many people wouldn't expect Missouri to do nothing last year, and they surprised a lot of people last year. So I think it's going to be a different kind of year. He's going to have to use different ways to advance his offensive scheme the way he wants to do things. But I think what's the spread you said?
2.
2. Memphis?
2.
Missouri.
Missouri.
Missouri. Where's it at, Missouri?
Missouri.
I think I'm going to take the SEC in this
Missouri.
one. I think it's just difficult to play on the road, especially in conference, especially in our conference, the SEC. So I'm going to take Missouri in this game. But I do think it's going to be a really good game. A very underrated game, actually.
I think free throws at the end of the game will go Missouri's way, and Missouri wins by 5.
Put it away
in the last 10 seconds.
I think Dennis Gates is a really, really good coach. And I'm not sure, is Penny, did he get did he get like suspended a few games at the beginning of the year? I can't
Not
remember.
real. I know one of his players has a gun charge on him that I'm not real sure about the whole situation, but he has a
I can't
player
remember if
that's
that was this year or maybe that was last year. I'm thinking about where he
it
was
might have been
suspended.
it
I
might have
can't
been it might have
remember.
been
It was
it might have been
recruiting.
last year. Yeah, it might have been last year.
I can't remember. But anyway, I'm going to take Missouri in this game and take the 2 points. And then the last game that we're going to talk about, this is also tomorrow night. This is the Hall of Fame game.
I'm gonna tell you
It's
something.
in Charlotte,
This game right here,
Florida versus Virginia. And Virginia is a 1-point favorite in Charlotte.
I'm gonna tell you something.
Both of these teams are kind of in the just missed the top 25 rankings.
Yeah,
Both of these teams are.
I think they're sleeper teams in their conferences, especially Florida.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm gonna tell you something. If you've never watched Riley Kugel play basketball, you need to sit down and watch him play basketball. He's a really good basketball player. They also got
They
the
picked up
transfer.
some really good transfers.
They did. Walter Clayton Jr. If I'm not mistaken, didn't he play for Iona with Rick Pitino?
Yeah.
I thought he played with Rick Pitino, I think, last year. I think they got one of the better transfer classes. UVA's always got a stingy defense. And I feel like this kind of game is a resume builder because later on in the year, you look back at it and you think, oh, my goodness, that's a game that can possibly help us get into the tournament. So I think I'm going to take Florida in this game. I think Florida's improved their roster. I think Virginia's relying on Reese Beekman quite a bit this year. He's a senior. He was one of the better ACC players last year. But I think with the new team and everything, and a lot of people got on, I think they're going to have to rely on him quite a bit. But I think Florida, Todd Golden at Florida is going to be a really solid coach for Florida. And I think they got a team this year that could possibly challenge for an NCAA tournament bid, especially with Kugel and the players that they got from the transfer portal. So I think I'm going to pick Florida in this one. Straight up.
All right.
Actually.
What do you think, Roberts?
I'm going to go, oh, man.
Well, a 1 point favorite pretty much.
Yeah, this is a tough one. You're basically just picking who wins the game.
Yeah.
Because I really like both teams in this one. I like the coach at Florida because he came across country. He came from what was it from San Francisco? From
San Francisco, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I'll go Florida. God, I was getting ready to pick Virginia in this one, but I think I'm gonna lean Florida. I don't think it's gonna be by a whole lot. Don't think they're gonna just absolutely blow the doors off of Virginia, but I think this one stays tight the whole game. I think that just like any other game where a team can pull away right there at the end, and I mean like within the last 20, 30 seconds of the game, I think that's pretty much what ends up happening. Virginia has to foul. Florida makes free throws. Florida wins.
Okay. I mean, I've been going kind of SEC flavor with these games. I'm going to continue that. I'm going to take Florida. I think the SEC needs to make a statement tomorrow night. All right. So that's going to wrap up our two our upset picks. I think I already had it on the screen. I didn't even know it was up there. Our upset picks me and John both won our upset picks last week, which was a change because we haven't been winning very many. You can see that on the screen. So let's keep this to football this week on the upset picks and lock picks.
My upset pick of the week.
Hammonds.
I think I'm going to go. There's not like. I think I'm going to go Nebraska over Maryland. Nebraska plays at home. Maryland's a 2-point favorite. The over and under is 43.5. I think they're playing for a bowl game, which Maryland is too, but I think Nebraska's going to be more prepared this week. You know, they lost a crucial game last week against Michigan State, which kind of mind-blowed me, to be honest. But at the same time, let's look at the locks. A lot of times you got to look at the way where they're higher, like the point spreads are higher. I'm going to go Kansas State, Baylor. Kansas State's, I think, favored. Well, by this, it's 21. So it's at K-State. Baylor's just a terrible football team right now, and I'm not real sure if Dave Aranda is going to keep his job or not. That's another one that's been on the hot seat. He's looking like he might not be there no more.
John, by the way,
he's looking like defensive coordinator for LSU, right? That's what he's looking like. Yeah, Dave Aranda, defensive coordinator.
What'd you say now?
Which one? Are you talking about me or Brad?
He was talking to me.
I said that you won your lock pick last week.
What was my lock last week? I forgot.
I don't know. You ask me that every time I tell you that, and I can't never remember. I need to jot it down in here, I guess, because you asked.
Yeah, you need to write them all down. Write them all down. Have you not been paying attention?
No, I don't.
No, I'm talking to Brad.
I go back and look.
Brad's the host of the show. You should write down everything.
Yeah, whatever. Are you doing locks or no?
I can.
Locks and upsets? Because it's your
locks,
first time.
Locks of love. Locks of love.
If you want to, you can. If not.
Okay. Got it. So, upset.
Right, so
I've actually already gone over.
Pick,
I've already gone over my upset. My upset is Utah over Washington. Called it earlier.
Washington.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So we're just going to continue that.
Okay. All right. Well, my upset pick, I'm going to go off the rails here a little bit. That's not on the radar. I'm going to go Coastal Carolina at home over Texas State. They're a 2.5-point underdog at home. Coastal Carolina's got a really good team. Texas State does too. Matter of fact, that's where Finley's at, I'm pretty sure. The old Auburn quarterback, Finley. Anyways, I'm going Coastal Carolina, 2.5-point underdog as the upset. And then lock of the week, Roberts.
Can I go on a point total?
Yeah, we do. We like whatever the
good, because I'm going to say
like
the Iowa game goes. I'm going to say the Iowa game. Iowa and who do they get to play? That Iowa and Rutgers, right? That point total is like what, 28?
Yeah,
it is. Yes, the answer is yes. The answer is 28.
So are you saying that they go under or over as a lock?
Oh, I'm going to say Iowa figures out how to score some points. Over.
Okay. Okay.
Over 28.
My lock of the week is FSU over Miami, 14 points. They're the favorite. I think FSU easily beats Miami at home by 14. So
Are
I
you
think
doing
that's
that just
what
to
I'm-
get back in the game or what? Because that's too easy. Why would you do that?
Because that's exactly what we're doing. We're trying to pick a lock that is going to win. That's exactly what we're doing.
Baby, may I have your candy? Thank you.
Exactly what we're doing is trying to pick a lock.
I'm gonna point
I'm
and
not trying
laugh
to
if they
pick a-
lose.
Well, I haven't won too many of them, so they might. I picked them a few weeks back in one, and they didn't cover the spread. So we'll see. They didn't lose the game, but they didn't cover the spread. All right. So our next show is Sunday. I know me and Roberts will be on, I'm pretty sure, this Sunday for the weekend wrap-up show. So we will come back and do our coverage of that and talk about the AP poll and the college football scoreboard. We will probably add in college basketball scoreboard as well this week and do some coverage for you guys on all the big games and all of these games that we just talked about and just went over. So I appreciate you guys being on with us tonight. John and John, appreciate you guys being with me. The show ran halfway smooth with two people on, so I'm happy about that.
Woo-hoo.
And
Small victories, small victories.
I'm pretty happy about that. Jared Carter, Clyde, Josh, everybody that's been on with us. I appreciate you
Wireman.
guys being on with us as well.
Wireman trying to drop
Wireman was
knowledge.
on. Yeah,
He's trying to drop knowledge during a basketball post.
yeah.
He's so random out there. I'm telling you, man. Like,
Yeah,
Jerry, I almost
appreciate
went that
Wireman
way
being
too.
on. Yeah. So, Jerry, I put your picks up there for upset and lock. So he's been with us the last several weeks and doing this with us and talking about his locks and upsets and picks as we go.
Actually, since the season started.
He may have, he's been with us for a while doing this. So we appreciate it. And we will see you guys on Sunday. This has been our College Sportscast Game Day pick